Shot from My Plus Leads. And
Okay.
I took a screenshot and I edited out the street address and the last names and phone numbers and emails just so we could be compliant with everything. But so for example, here are 3 expireds from today in my area. And so what I look for here is I'm looking for the location. I don't want it to be 2 hours away. When you're getting this kind of data, a lot of the times it's not, you can't really tailor it to your local sales area.
Yeah.
So for example, the second one here in Elk Grove, that's probably an hour and a half away. And I'm just not, and it's 5:54. As I look through these expired listings from today, and when I look at the ones from 30 days and older, I look at the ones 6 months and older. I'm always looking at, all right, location, and then I look at the price. And in this case, at $899, that might be a B lead, right? Because the price point is below $1 million. And so in my area, the top 5 to 10% would be over $1 million.
Oh,
The third one here, Cameron Park, it's a little hard to read, but I'm going to read it for you. It's the price, it was $1,024,000. Now, the estimated value is $921. That'll be something I'll take a look at a little bit later. And then this estimated price says $1 million versus $899. So when I click on the address in My Plus Leads, it takes me to this view right here, where I got some really great information here that's, I think, really important. I can see it's canceled, it's high equity, it's empty nester. I'm looking in the yellow here. And then down here, where it looks like almost like a property description, again, in the highlight, I see high equity expired listing, canceled after 88 days on the market. And a couple of other things here. It says the owners have accumulated substantial equity of approximately almost $700,000 over their 12 years of ownership. The property, so I love this part. The property's expired status combined with the owner's significant equity position and empty nester demographic profile suggests potential motivation to sell. They may have simply been overpriced or poorly marketed rather than unwilling to move, which is phenomenal. All right. Which is excellent. The link to Zillow. So in My Plus Leads, you can see here, there's a link to Google Maps and there's a link to Zillow. So I like to click on both of them. The map, just to get a really quick, I mean, there's a map on Zillow, but if I click map, I can see kind of where it is real quickly in relation to other things. And then I'll always go to either Zillow or the MLS to confirm that it's still canceled, that it wasn't relisted, that it's just not bad data. All of these providers can sometimes give you bad data. Before I call, before I text and email, I want to make sure I know that it's expired, right? You don't want to be sitting here calling somebody and it was relisted, because you know that agent's going to call you in about 5 minutes and they're going to be not too happy with you calling their seller up, right? So even though My Plus Leads or Redx or Vulcan 7, they may show you, oh yeah, look, it's canceled or it's expired. Always double check, always double check. So it is expired. So back to the post, which I just put the link in. Neil, how you doing? So I say here, price point, top 5 to 10% of my market, good location, like we just talked about. The next are just bonuses, right? High equity and empty nester, phenomenal, which gives motivation. And then the bonus here, 88 days on market before canceling. So they were on the market for almost 90 days, right? That's 3 months. Probably weren't getting any showings for the last couple of months. We're just like, we're out of here. So that's phenomenal. As you saw here in the post, it's a great looking house. I looked in the neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood. It's actually a gated community, so, which can be attractive to certain people. Back up in the post. So I say review the property information so that you know more about it before reaching out. And again, that would include confirm that it's still canceled. And then like the information we saw here, it's great for me to know first 88 days on market, right? When we talk about approaching expireds, we always want to know how long they were on the market for, because that's going to give us a lot more perceived expertise when we mention that to the homeowner, either via phone, voicemail, or text or email. And it's just nice to know, hey, they got equity, so they can move down, right? If they really do have almost $700,000 in equity, if they need to come down 50,000 to sell because they want to move to be near the grandkids, or they just want to move to Florida, whatever, who knows? But if they want to move, they got more than enough equity right there. So that's awesome. That's just awesome for me to know going into this. It's also great for me to know when they have no equity, because now I know they're not going to be coming down in price unless they're going to be bringing money to the table at the close, which not a lot of people want to do. So knowing they're empty nester, knowing they got high equity, knowing that they're on the market for 88 days, that's all awesome stuff right there. So I'm going to add this listing, or add this property, I should say, to my listings to leads account as status expired. All right. So I'm going to walk through that here in a little bit. When I do, that's going to create the flipbook. That's going to create the PDF so that I can print it up and deliver it to them if I need to via mail or door knocking. But I'll have the flipbook that I can deliver via text and via email before I even get around to printing it. All right. Then I'm going to use the scripts that are in the school classroom, which we'll walk through here in a little bit. So again, I'm going to call them up. If I get them on the phone, we've got one call script. If I'm leaving a voicemail, there's a different script for the voicemail. And when you see it, there's an explanation as to why that is. Then I got the text sequences. There's a 3 text sequence that we're going to send text 1. And then a couple of days later, if we don't get a response, text 2. A couple of days later, still no response, text 3. And then there's an email. So phone, text, email. Costs no money, absolutely free. A lot of your CRMs, you can text out of them. Obviously, you can email out of whatever program you want. I'll walk you through that as well. I'm going to add them to my CRM and tag them as expired contact. Now, if it's I might say expired luxury or expired A versus expired B. But just I want to make sure they're in my CRM and tagged as expired, and then maybe, like I said, a suffix so that I know what kind of expired. They're not a lead, really. They're not a lead until I talk to them, right? They're not in my pipeline until I actually touch base with them. So until then, they're just going to be a contact. If I am not able to connect with that homeowner via phone, text, or email, then I'm going to print out the PDF. I'm going to bind it either at my office or at my home. I've got links to 2 great binders that are like $50 each. You can typically print from your home printer and then just either spiral bind it, which is really what I prefer, right? I like the spiral binder better than the thermal, but I've got links to both of them in the school area. And yeah, so just again, first thing every single day, as far as this is concerned, identify the new expired you're going to go after today. I would take a look at all the new ones in my area. I only had 4 new ones, of which 1 definitely was not going to be something I would go after. As I mentioned, it was an Elk Grove. It's a really low price point for my area. So I'm not driving an hour and a half for a $550,000 listing. Now, I know in some areas that sounds stupid. In our area, the average home is $800,000, right? I'm in Northern California. It's just the way it is. But every area is going to be different. The other thing here, and I'll bring up that other view again. The other thing I will not go after, all of these have a phone number and an email, which is good. If the property does not have a phone number that is not on the do not call, they don't have an email, I'm not even going to worry about them unless it's like super high end property that I want to do a little bit more digging around. And maybe I look them up in Remine or Forewarn or something like that, or Google the property or use another service, maybe call my title company and find out if they got access to who the owner is and some information about them. For typically, if there's no phone number or email, and some of these records don't have a phone number. Even if I do a search and I use the filter phone number, for example, here in My Plus Leads, and I think with all of them, there's a filter to say, include phone number required, show me only records with phone number not on the do not call required. You'll still get some of these showing you the properties where there's no phone number. I don't know why. It's just, again, none of these services are 100%. It's just the way data is. So you could be dealing with Redx, My Plus Leads, Vulcan 7. You're going to see these same kind of issues with all of them. So it's not particular to any one in particular. So with that, so what am I going to do? It's an A lead. It's a luxury listing. I'm going to come into listings to leads, and I'm going to go add listing manual. I'm going to change the status right here to expired. Oh, not auction, expired. You saw we got canceled. We've got FSBO, and obviously we got the listing presentation. So when I do have a listing presentation later, I'll just change the status from expired to listing presentation. And now I don't have, we'll say Marco and Deborah. So Marco and Deborah are the owners, and you'll see right there, expired name, Marco. And now there are last names, but again, I'm just not going to be using them for privacy purposes. I'm sure you can all understand. And there was a phone number that was a part of the record, but again, I'll just put in a dummy phone number there for our purposes. Similar, the street address, 123 Main Street. It gave me the address, but right, again, El Dorado Hill, California, 95630. So that's their address. Now, if I wanted to, for price, I would just put TBD for bedrooms. If you can find it, it definitely is, it's good to add. You don't need to at all. But I like to do it just because, again, if and when I list this property, all I have to do is change the status from expired to listing presentation. And now I'm ready to go into the listing presentation. And when they sign the listing agreement, all I have to do is change the status from listing presentation to coming soon or just listed. And I don't have to add this data then. So I can just add it right now. If I wanted to, I could throw in the property address into ChatGPT and say, give me a 200-word property description designed for engagement, SEO, and AEO, and pop that in here. So I can put property, pop in a property description, save and add photos. And there was a photo on Zillow. So I'm just going to use that. If there was not a photo on Zillow, what I would do is go to Google Maps and use Street View and take a screenshot of that home from Google Street View, throw that into ChatGPT, and I'll show you a post on that a little bit later. Soup takes 1 minute to do, and ChatGPT will give you a beautiful photo from the fuzzy, not so good Google Earth photo or Google Maps photo. So I'm going to upload the property photo. And even talking through this and explaining what I'm doing, I've been doing this for 2 minutes, and it's going to take about another minute to a minute and a half to generate the flipbook and the PDFs, and we're going to be done. I'm going to always delete that filler photo. So for the expired listings, there's that kind of filler photo in case you can't find a photo of the property. So upload the photo of the property like I did, then delete the one that was there initially. We don't want it. We don't need it. It's not going to serve us any purposes with what we're doing here. And you only need one photo. This is not a regular listing where I need 20 or 30 photos. And again, we're just going to, so look, there's the property address. If I click on the landing page, you can see here, that's what the cover is going to look like. And you can see it says prepared for Marco and Deborah at 123 Main Street, El Dorado Hills, California. The complete marketing plan to get your expired home sold. And that's their home on the cover. That is their home on the cover. When we go after a luxury listing, We want to make sure that we are coming in guns ablazing. All right. I don't want them to have any doubt on my expertise, my technical prowess as a real estate agent. I want them to look at me and go, my God, why didn't we hire this person the first time? In fact, I just looked at a top team's listing information, kind of their version of this. It was literally like 2 pages. And it's essentially, it was who we are. And there was like 1 page and it's like, yeah, social media and digital marketing is really important and we do it. And then the next page was all about us. And that was it. I come in with a 25 to 27 page PDF, binded, looking great. Or I come in with the flip book where they can flip through it. They can see their home on every single page. That other top team is going to be wishing that they hadn't competed up against me because I'm going to beat them every single time. This presentation answers, especially for an expired, right? The expired, the first agent came in there, told them what they told them. Obviously, they told them they were going to get the home sold unless there's some crazy situation going on. And so the problem is, especially with the expireds, they don't want to hear what you're going to do. They don't want to hear your promises. They're not interested in that anymore. They want to see what it is that you're going to do. And when you present this to them, either the link to the flipbook, where they can see it on text message, they can see it via email, or you're going to door knock or mail it to them, and they can actually see it, you're going to get some of these people coming back to you and just going, you know what, when can you come over and look at this? Beautiful flip book. Looks like let me get my screen. There we go. So I got my introduction. We create a marketing platform around your home. That is their home on the cover. That's their name on the cover. That's their address on the cover. And as I go through this, that is their home on every single image, every single page, all the way through here. Absolutely stunning. That's even their address right there. 123 Main Street. It put a 96 in there because 123 Main Street gets used a lot. I'll show you where you can edit this part in the yellow. That's actually editable. But look at this. The address right here, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This QR code, absolutely scannable. I'm going to make it really big. And I'm telling you, if you've ever used this in a listing presentation and you have the homeowner scan that QR code, you're gonna get that listing right there. That's when, look at that. Let me bring up, hold on a second. Let me bring up my Zoom. I've lost myself. Share. All right. Can you guys still see me? I feel like I've lost my camera.
Wait.
Oh, there I am. I'm sorry. Yep.
We could see
there
you.
Go. Yeah, no, I couldn't find where my camera thing was, but I found it. But there you can see, I just scanned that QR code and now I'm looking at my own home, right? I'm Marco, right? One of you is Marco. Neil, you're Marco, right? Joni, Kia, Telia, you're all Deborah. Troy, you're Marco as well. Imagine you scan that QR code. Now you're looking at your home right on the phone. And as you scroll down on the single property website on your phone, it's just holy hell. Excuse my language. Holy cow. All your reviews are going to be there if you got those in listings to leads, your other listings, other information that you've got in here. For example, I've got where I do other property videos. I do 3D tours as you scroll down. I got the video for my 100-point home marketing plan in there, right? All this great information, very completely customizable. So if I wanted as an agent to do a few things to this property website before I gave it to them, I could. Let me go ahead and minimize this. Get it to 100. There we go. And so as they go through this, again, whether we send it to them via text, we send it to them via email, we print it and we door knock or mail it. All right. We got coming soon is optional. You can turn that off if you wanted to. I like to leave coming soon. And here's why. When I'm in a listing presentation, even if I don't do or can't do coming soon marketing as a status, publicly available in the MLS, like sometimes 24 to 72 hours. If you can, you should always do coming soon marketing. I think you should always do it, because then you are the only one marketing that listing, and you're going to get some really great leads, because they can't go to Zillow. They can't go to realtor.com. They got to go through you, because only you have that, and you're able to do the Facebook ad, the social media stuff, the database stuff, right? All the tools and listings to leads. People are only going to be seeing it from you. So you're going to have this carte blanche marketing that listing for the first 24 to 72 hours if you're able to. But even if you're not, I like to keep that in there, because it allows me to better talk about how, before we go to market as just listed, I'm going to take photographs. We're going to do the videos. We're going to do some light staging. I'm going to make sure that your home looks absolutely perfect, because when we go to market, I want to make sure that we hit the ground at top speed. All right. We don't market a property just willy nilly and hope something happens. And then if nothing does after a few days, then we'll see what we can do to make it work. No, we're going to hit the ground hard from day one. And so leaving coming soon in this allows me to talk through that if I don't actually do coming soon marketing as a status, right? Then they're going to see just listed, open house, active. They can see all the different differences, and and you want to make sure that you mention this when you're talking to somebody about the pending in particular, how we don't stop marketing your home just because you got an offer. All right. We are going to keep marketing your home until it closes escrow. All right. We don't just get an offer and start dreaming about going shopping, right? Buying that new car, buying those new shoes, whatever it is that we think we're doing with the commission check. As agents, we know deals are not always 100%, sometimes more than others. So I don't need to scare the seller about that necessarily, but I am going to mention, listen, just because we get an offer on your home and we're going through inspections and we're doing a list, until it is sold, until at least the contingencies are all removed, I will keep marketing your home. And sellers love that. That is something they probably have never heard from anybody else up until the time that you're going to mention it to them. Right? Then they can sell your client reviews right here, if you got that set up in listings to leads. All right, so all of your client reviews. Oh, Tia Lee, you back? I'm sorry, did we lose you?
I'm here. I
Oh,
thought,
maybe you got somebody else with you. Look, now there's two of you.
uh,
Looks like somebody else from your side may have joined us. So welcome.
yeah.
No worries. All right, so what we're going to do in the school classroom, which I gave you all the link just a little bit ago, and this is always in the mastermind group. You can always ask me for it later. We just walked through what are A group leads. These are the luxury high-end listings. All right. And if you want to add an introduction, if you don't have the intro yet in your flipbook or printed expired marketing plan, right? It'll look something like this right here. Right. There's my intro, right? It's the first page on the inside cover. I'll show you where that is in a little bit, but you're going to call them. All right. We got a call script where we get them on the phone, and it's super easy. All right. And when y'all be thinking, these are people that got with an agent that could not get their home sold. You are now walking in with something, and I'm telling you right now, if you haven't really gone through the power of this thing in a listing presentation and or expired yet, where you've got somebody face to face looking at this thing, people are blown away. If anybody here, have you done a listing presentation with this yet? Have you gone through this with an expired face to face? Because none of you, Neil, not you. Well, Neil, I know you don't do the listing appointment, so maybe you haven't, but I can just tell you right now,
No, I didn't.
99.8% people are blown away. Again, I just referenced a little bit earlier, this top team out of Wisconsin, right? They signed up. I was looking at their website real quickly, and they had this like our marketing, and it was literally like not even 3 pages. And it was just like, oh my God, that's the kind of stuff that you're going up against, right? These agents, They put in the MLS, they do a Facebook ad, they do a couple of social media posts, they might include it in a newsletter to their database. Maybe they do a postcard that is pretty lame. Maybe they do an open house, but they don't market the open house really well. So the open house doesn't get a lot of people. And they're just really relying on being Zillow Premier to get more views for them, or maybe they boost it on realtor.com, right? If you want to blow 1,000 to 2,000 bucks a month on that stuff for the minimal return on investment, phenomenal. But you're still going to lose to the agent that walks in with this plan. All right. Because I'm telling you, homeowners, I have had agents tell me that they get asked, where is the listing agreement? Where do I sign while they are still looking at this? Because they just go, listen, you know what? They'll go through like maybe half of it. And they're just kind of looking through it. And there's like, it's mind blowing. It's phenomenal. I got QR codes. I got my website. I can see my listing flyers. I can see all of this stuff. You're organized beyond belief. I don't need to really look through the whole damn thing. Do I really need to look through all of this? I can tell just by half of this thing that you're 10 times better than the first agent that I talked to. All right. The first agent I talked to had 1 to 2 to 3 pages telling me what they were going to do for all of this money I'm giving them. Right. They wanted 2.5%. They wanted 3%. They barely told me what they were going to do, right? Besides putting in the MLS and the yard sign. Even nowadays, the marketing plans of most of these people are very suspect, very weak. And again, that's why when you give an expired homeowner this, and that's why if you saw in the mastermind group today, I was talking about the fact that existing home sales are coming out on Thursday, and we'll have an email ready for you to send to your seller leads that will include a link to the listing presentation automatically in that email. The more we can get these, whether it's the expired one or the standard one for just your regular seller leads, right? This is not the expired, right? This is the one for a regular listing presentation. But the more we can get these in front of people that are thinking about selling or that want to sell, including expireds, including FSBOs, including cancels, the more listings we're going to get, the more conversations we're going to have. They're going to be a lot easier because we are showing them something that nobody else has. So this is our call script, and we're going to call them up, right? I got the phone number, whether it's through Redx or My Plus Leads or some other service that you've got, right? I got the phone number, so I'm going to call them up. Most likely I won't get them on the phone, but I still want to go through the call script and be comfortable with it. I'm not trying to memorize it. I'm not trying to become word for word with it, but a few of the key points, whether you're talking to them on the phone or you're talking to them via text or you leave a voicemail, you want to let them know that something like this. I saw that your home was listed for sale for 97 days. In My Plus Leads, it told us the home was on the market for 88 days. So in My Plus Leads, you're going to see that number right there on the property page. So when I call them or when I text them, I'm going to make sure, or leave a voicemail, I'm going to make sure I mention that because that gives me a lot of expertise in their mind. All right. And then you're going to say, I've got a 100-point expired home marketing plan to relaunch expired listings and get them sold. Can I send you a copy to review and see if you might find it interesting? Or can I send it to you and see what you think? Or can I send it to you and then follow up with you in a few days? Your vibe, the way you want to do it's going to be a little bit different. But if you just get those two things out within this, how many days they are on the market for, and that you've got a 100+ point expired home marketing plan. All right. That will help them start listening to you. And that's going to get them interested in what it is that you got. More than likely, you're not even going to get them on the phone. You're going to be leaving a voicemail. And the voicemail is just a little bit different, super short. It's literally 2 sentences. All right. Hi, Frank. Quick message about my 100+ point expired home marketing plan. This is Scott. So you say that first, because half the time they're going to be looking at a text transcription of your voicemail. They're not even going to listen to it. They're going to be looking at it, and they're going to be looking at that text coming through. And I've got half a second to get their attention before they just delete. All right. Before the thumb, right? Before the thumb can even hit the screen, I want them to see this right there, 100-point expired home marketing plan. All right. Because when they see that as an expired homeowner, yeah, they're going to give me a few more seconds. Like, they're all right, let's see what he's got. And then I continue in the voicemail. This is Scott Pierce with X. Now I introduce who I am. This is Scott Pierce with XYZ Realty here in Folsom. So I'm going to say the area, because I don't want them thinking I'm some like spam caller from some God knows where. So I want to say I'm a local person. That's why I've got that in capital or in bold. I saw your home was on the market for 97 days. I mentioned that earlier, and didn't sell. So I'm going to send you a text message with a link to the full plan so that you can look it over. All right. And then just end it with, I'd love to get your feedback and see if you might find that, see if it might be something you find interesting. That's all. You don't need to talk past the close. You don't need to sit here and ramble trying to sound smart or important or whatever, because people respect when you just stop talking and just send them what it is that you said you're going to send them. Especially if I'm an expired homeowner and you got this thing, which I can't even, what a 100-point expired home marketing plan is. I got no idea, but it sounds pretty good, right? Little do I know that I'm going to be getting from you a link to a 25 to 27 page branded to you as the agent, but with my home on it, my name on the cover, my address right there on the cover, that there's going to be a QR code. There's going to be a link where I can view a gorgeous single property website from you. All right. That I can see that you do just listed, that you do active, that you do open house if you do that, pending, all right, coming soon if you do that, that I can see all of the stuff that you do. I got no idea that's coming at me, but when it does, all right, you're going to start getting more conversations. You're going to start talking to more of these people. Expireds are just the lowest hanging fruit, but we do very similar to all the seller leads in our database, because similar to expireds, when somebody in our database that is a homeowner, when they start thinking about selling, I want them to be very comfortable having seen this, hopefully, or at least knowing that I've got one. And that's why we produce those emails every couple of weeks, so that we can stay in front of all of the seller leads in our database. All right. The expireds are just the easiest group to go after because they already listed their home. We know they want to sell. 80% of them at least are going to relist, right? Whether they do it in the first 30, the first 90, the first 365 days, they're going to relist their home, right? 80% minimum. So why not go after that group first? And then, right, as we're going after that group, we will also go after just all of our seller leads as well. But it's those expireds in our area that should be really the first group, because they've already raised their hands. All right, now we're going to send a text message. All right, so let me, oh, wait, why is that not opening? Let me see here, 1 second. All right, there we go, text sequence. So I'm going to send a text message, and right to my A's, and here's, and so that's what I'm talking about, right? We even got this for seller leads, just regular seller leads. But text message number 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it in Lofty. I'm going to put it in Follow Up Boss, because I can text message out of there. I can even do it off my phone. All right. Don't be spamming people off your phone in particular, because you don't want to get dinged. You could use, I think Redx can do this as well. So there's different programs that you could also use besides your phone. I know JJ, there's a couple of videos in here. If you go under success stories. So under success stories, there's 3 videos. I'll point them out a little bit later. But so I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to drop it into whatever, probably save it as a template. So it's just always there, right? I don't want to have to recreate this all the time. But what I'm going to change is I'm going to change that link right there. So check this out. This is so easy. I can use bit.ly. Oh, Bill. B-I-T. So I can use bit.ly. I can use, and you can do this through Canva, but you can just go to bit.ly.com. I could also go to tinyurl.com. And back in listings to leads, I'm gonna grab their flipbook. Now, I could send that long URL via text, but it's long and sloppy looking. And I just want a really nice, pretty, clean URL. So I'm gonna copy that URL and check this out. And I don't think you need a paid plan. I think you can do this for totally free. Drop in the link, and you see it says add alias. I'm gonna do 123 main. No, I'm sure that's already, let's try that. I'll say shorten link. Yeah, it's not available. So, because that's obviously it's a very common, I'll say El Dorado Hills. Shorten link. And boom. Now I've got a link, right? So now I can just copy this link, and in the text message, I'm going to replace that long URL with this one. And that way it's just a lot cleaner. And it actually says 123 Main El Dorado Hills. Normally, I just like to do the street number and street name. So 986 Gold Leaf Court, something like that. And that way, when they see the link in the text message and it says 976 Gold Leaf Court, right, they're going to be like, oh, that's something to do with my home. So far, does this make sense for everybody? Does this make sense? Very straightforward. So I'm going to take that URL, and it took me what, 3 seconds? And in the text message, I'll just swap out this one with the one I just created for them, so that when Marco and Deborah, I'm going to probably call both of them. They're in My Plus Leads, there are phone numbers for both of them, and I'll probably text both of them. And so when I text Marco and Deborah, this link, I'm not going to send them this link. That's a link to somebody else's, right? That's for Frank Costanza and Loomis. So you're going to send them the link to their flipbook. All right. Give me a yes if that makes sense. Because if that doesn't make sense, I don't want to keep going. And you should be able to call and send that first text and even create the flipbook for an A lead. You should be able to do that in 5 minutes. All of that in 5 minutes. Right? It's a very simple and straightforward process. What I would normally suggest that you do is that you go through, like as you got time. One day you may have an hour and a half. The next day, maybe you got 9 minutes, right? Who knows? Every day it's always going to be a little bit different. I would go through the people that just expired today. So I'm going to go through those people first. Now I know there's going to be a lot of other people calling them. So I'm not going to expect, in fact, I might just go right to, if it's a lead in particular, I might just go right to door knocking. I know people that do that and have success because they know all of these other agents are calling, they're texting, they're emailing, right? They got the same data you do. What they don't have that you have, they don't have this. So if your differentiation is not calling, texting, or emailing, because everybody else is doing that, it's day one, they just came up, everyone is calling them, right? You're not, at this point, you're not special because you called this homeowner. You're one of 20 people. If you want to be one of 20 people, be my guest. It's not a great place to be. So if it's an A lead, and if I got the ability to go door knock, you damn know I'm going to be doing that, right? If I got the time, I'm going to add them just like I showed you. Now, maybe I call and text, but man, do I want to piss them off? Do I want them like, dude, listen, you're the 9th person that's called me in the last 35 minutes. Boom. That you do play around and see what you feel, right? See how that works for you. But because everybody else has the same data, I'm not special. If anything, I might annoy the heck out of them. But what I am going to do maybe for those A leads, I'm going to go door knock or I mail it. I put this in the mail or I print and I go door knocking with it. Okay. Now, so what I was getting to though is I call all the people I'm going to call for the 30 days. Oh, I'm sorry, that just expired. And then I'm going to send, so I might call like today, there's only 3. So I'm going to call all 3 first. Call, voicemail. Okay, great. Then I'm going to send the text messages to all 3 of them, right? Now, in this case, there were 3 listings and maybe 5 phone numbers because 2 of the properties had couples where there were phone numbers and emails for both of them. That's not always going to be the case. But so I'm going to make the 5 phone calls to each number. I'm going to send the 5 texts, do that first. Then I'm going to start the text messages. I'll send the 5 text messages and then I'll do the 5 emails. Okay. Back in the school. So I'm going to send text number 1. Now, a little bit later, I'm going to go look at my CRM and find out who did I text to a couple of days ago. And I'm going to get text message number 2 off to those people. And text number 2, because there's 3 text messages for our A leads. Text number 2, it's just a property website. So instead of the flipbook for the listing, instead of the flipbook for the presentation, I'm just going to send the property website. And that is it's just right above the flipbook. So back here where there's a flipbook, property website. And that's just the link. So that's the link I'm going to include in the text message text message number 2 is just right there, right? It's all ready for you. And then there's actually a 3rd text message. If we've not touched base yet and I need it, there's a 3rd text message. And the 3rd text message is just asking, would you like me to send you the hard copy? All right. Because we just want reasons to stay in front of these people. Under email templates, there's an email. And the email subject line is going to be the 100-point expired home marketing plan for 2026. All right. So again, I want them to see 100 plus. I want them to see expired. And I want them to see home marketing plan and then for 2026. That's what we want in the subject line. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't change it. All right. If you want to get into the mastermind group and ask me my opinion on what you think you might want to try, you're going to do what you're going to do. But I would keep that subject line as is. And to be honest, I wouldn't really change much of anything here. It's just hello, first name, right? I specialize in helping expired and canceled homeowners get their home sold, often for the price they wanted and sometimes more, right? If you want to do a light edit in your words, now there's 2 links we're going to put in this email. All right, there's 2 links we're going to put in this email. One is the link to their home on Zillow. I've got that right in My Plus Leads, right there, Zillow.com. I can just, when I'm in My Plus Leads, and I'm sure Redx and all these have it, worst case, I can always Google the street address, and Zillow is normally going to be the first link that comes up. So I would get the Zillow link and put that right under here where it says your home on Zillow. Now there's a reason why we do this, a very important reason why, which I'll explain in a minute. And then under here where it says the complete marketing plan to get your home sold, that's going to be the either the bit.ly link or the tiny URL link. It'll be one of those 2 links. Now in the email, I can put the longer link if I want to. In the text message, you got to save space on a text message, which is why I like to use either the bit.ly or the tiny. But for the email, it's a little bit not as important to use the short link. It's still cleaner, but whichever. But regardless of which link, the link to the flipbook is going to go there. And then boom, that's the email. And so I'm going to send my emails. So I'm going to do that for all of the brand new ones. And then I'm going to go through And you'll see this up in here. All right, where it says start here, how to list expireds. I would start there, right? And then it says add 5 to 10 new expireds down here. You should go through and click on everything just to get comfortable. But notice here, start with the expireds that are 30 days old and work backwards, because these are the ones that nobody else is calling anymore, or not many people. And then go to the ones that are 6 months and older, because that's a whole different mindset at that point. And then work the brand new ones. And you can do it in any order you want, but it's just important to work all 3 groups on a pretty regular basis. All right. Pretty much every day, depending on how many brand new ones there are. As you saw me, I started out with the brand new ones, which is totally fine. But then when I get through those 3, because there's only 3 for today, I'm going to go look and see, okay, who are all the ones that are 30 days and older that I'm not in cycle with, that I have not touched base with, that maybe I missed them the first time through, or maybe because I'm just starting, right? I just never talked to anybody that expired 30 days ago. And then I'm going to go 6 months back. I'm going to go to all the ones that expired 6 months ago. When you are in any of those services, sometimes during the free trial, you're limited to the amount of data that you can get, but you want to make sure that as soon as you got the available data, that you start looking at all of those expires from 6 months ago that are still expired, because there's going to be a lot of them that are still expired. All right. More than enough to make it worth your while. And they are even more likely to have nobody calling them again, right? Maybe they've rented it. I've had people actually get buyers and find the people and list properties from 6 months older and actually double in deals that way. All right. So these are 3 unique kind of mindsets of expireds. So again, the brand new ones, the ones that are 6 months and older, and then the ones that are 30 days and older. And there's no hard and fast rule, but I just want to, on a regular basis, make sure I don't want to just stick with the ones that expired today because of what I told you. You're just a number at that point. You're just a number. You're one of 20 people calling them that day. And then when you call, text, and email to a brand new expired, now, again, everyone's got the data. So everyone's got the data. What they don't have is, this is why, especially I like the short URL to keep it clean, keep it neat. And I want to make sure I include that in the text message and in the email so that they see, oh, wow, this guy here, man, this woman here, I've had 4 people email me today. I'm getting sick of it. But this woman, she has this presentation with my home in it, right? My home is in that presentation. My name is in there, right? And then of course, what you're going to do, are you going to call them the next day after you email it, right? And you send a text message, right? You still want to do normal calling them up every couple of days just until you get a hold of them, because they may not be, that it's not their job to call you. It's just not their job to call you. You're the salesperson. You're the one getting the commission check. So it is up to you, right? If they don't reach out to you, which sometimes they're going to keep following up with them, because all you're going to be doing in the follow-up is just to say, hey, Scott calling again regarding the 25-page expired home marketing plan. And I just wanted to get your feedback on that and see if you think it might be interesting. You may not be selling anytime in the near future, but I just want to make sure that you had that plan and to make sure you didn't have any questions, right? Now I'm coming from a place of customer service, right? I'm coming from a place of value while everybody else is just blowing smoke. All right. Everybody else is talking about what they will do or can do, but they're not showing them anything. They're not showing them a single property website. They're not showing them QR codes and their home on every page and these domains that look beautiful, right? They're not doing that. They're just sitting there yapping about what pretty much the same thing that the original listing agent did. That's all they're doing. They're not doing what you're doing. They don't have what you have. All right. So just for the last few minutes here, I'll touch on this right now, and then you can come in here later and get more into this. But we got direct mail and door knocking. It's the same thing. There is one difference, and that is the envelope of all things, and I'll explain that in a minute. But let's see here, direct mail. Oh, door knocking. Sometimes I forget. If the arrow is down, then you click on it to open it up, and then you'll see. So here we go. Door knocking, the A group. All right. So if you get no response from call, text, or email, then consider door knocking. It's really the fastest way to success. It really is. Especially in the beginning when you're trying to really prime the pump. All right. In the morning, you turn on the shower and you got to step back because it's that cold water is going to hit you and give you a heart attack. So you turn the water on, you step back, you wait a minute, the water warms up, you get in there and it's beautiful. This is kind of the same thing. We got to prime the pump. So in the beginning, door knocking may be really where it's at, right? We prepare this, right? I'm going to call, text, and email. It's free and it takes me a minute, but I'm going to plan on the fact that I'm probably going to have to door knock, and I'm going to be excited to do it because when they can meet me and then I'm handing them this with a few other things that you're going to see on this page right here, they're going to be like, I've had people tell me they've got listing agreements signed door knocking. I've had people tell me that they door knocked, they shared the presentation, right? Hey, and when you watch this video here, right, it says here, watch his video here. When you click that link, it's going to go right to this guy's video. He tells you what he says. He tells you what he brings. All right. It's awesome. And he's had people invite him in, give him tours of the home, right? Puts him in the pipeline, puts a plan together. And this guy, he closed $32 million last year. So he closed $32 million last year. He put 2.7 million into his pipeline in 3 days by door knocking. Again, priming that pump. What to include? So when we're going to door knock and or mail, what we are going to include is the presentation. So that's what we've been looking at. Back in listings to leads, right? Download. There's the PDF. So I can click download it and then print it. Got your office, print it at home. If your office doesn't have a binder or you don't want to go to FedEx all the time, I have both of these binders. So I've got this one, $48. You could have it by tomorrow, depending on where you live. There's another thermal binder, $50, depending on where you live. All right. Super easy. I like the spiral, but it's up to you. Actually, so someone told me binders for thermal that are nicer than the one above. So one of my other clients, she said, I bought these binders and it was way better than the default ones that other binding machine came with. So it's, I don't know how many, 55 sheets, 25. It's like $1 a piece. So these are, she said, a lot nicer. You got a cover letter. So you're going to take this cover letter. It's just their name. That's your signature. Put your logo on this. And this QR code. Remember we did that short URL right here, right? Remember long URL, tiny link. And again, this could be Bitly. Bitly does the same thing. Shorten link, generate QR code. Check this out. Download PNG. Now I got a post on how to do this in Canva. But check this out. Boom. All right. There's a QR code. If we scan this, it should go to that flipbook. Let's just try it. And yeah, here we go. Look at that. Beautiful. I want to include that on the cover letter. It's so hard to do. Click copy image. And back in the letter. Oh, there we go. I'll make this bigger. So it's a little easier to see. And just paste it in there. I can make it big and short, or big and short, big and small, I guess. I can delete the other one, although I'm not going to because this is a training one, but you're going to get the idea. I'm just going to pop it in there. Beautiful. I'm good to go. All right, I'm gonna change this to Marco and Deborah, I think it was. Hello, Marco and Deborah. Boom. I specialize in helping expired homeowners get their home sold, often more. Da, 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 da. The truth is, that's where my 100 plus my marketing plan comes in. Please scan the QR code to view the digital version now. So I'm going to give them either via mail or door knocking. I'm going to give them the printed version, but I want this on their phone. I want this on their phone. All right. I want it both. I want it on the countertop. I want it on their phone, because when they scan this and they start flipping through this, they're going to be like, holy hell, my God, this guy's amazing. This guy's on fire. I got the one in my hand. I got the one on my phone. So I'm walking around the house. I'm in the backyard. I can look at it on my phone. When I'm in the house, it's going to be sitting on my kitchen countertop. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And so I'm going to print this and I'm going to save it and I'm going to upload it as an attachment to the record in my CRM, like I talked about a little bit earlier. But this will be the cover letter. And the trash sheet. All right, so we got this. This can be the MLS printout. This could be the printout from the MLS, the Zillow, My Plus Leads, Redx. It's called a trash sheet. And again, very important. People have told me they've literally gotten the phone call where somebody refers to this, because what you do here, and it should be black and white, it should look not trashy, but it should not, this is not meant to be a marketing piece. It's meant to be the opposite. So you're going to print it up. You're going to circle a few things on here, and then you're going to put, I know why your home didn't sell. Call me, Scott Pierce. And it's going to be, sometimes it's obvious. Here, just on this random one that I took as an example without even being meaning to necessarily, you got photos on the MLS of an empty home. I don't care if your home is empty. I'm going to do AI staging, and I'm actually going to show your home in the MLS with furniture. And I'm going to mark it as AI staged, and I'm going to do that with ChatGPT. It's going to take me like 10 minutes. All right. So I'm going to take maybe not every single photo, but I'm certainly going to have more than a few photos, right? Maybe one or two of the living room, one or two of the bedroom, the bathroom. And I'm going to just throw those into ChatGPT, and we're going to stage those so that people aren't looking at empty rooms. All right. So you're going to include the cover letter, the trash sheet right here, and then the home selling process outline. Click listings, or you can click right there. That'll take you right to it, right in your listings leads account. And it's right here, home selling process outline. Boom, right there. So cover letter, trash sheet, this right here called the home selling process outline for sellers, and the presentation. And I'm gonna look sharp. I'm gonna put on a nice shirt. I'm gonna go brush my teeth, brush my hair, and I'm gonna go get in my car. I'm gonna go pull up to that house. I'm gonna go door knock, and one of two things are gonna happen. If I speak with them, phenomenal, right? I'm gonna take a couple of steps back from the door. They're gonna answer the door. Hi, my name is Scott Pierce with XYZ Realty, and I saw that your home was listed for sale for 97 days and didn't sell. And I wanted just to give you my 100 plus point home marketing plan to get expired home sold in Folsom. And would love to just give you a copy of this and get your feedback. They're going to take a look at it. They're going to see their home on the cover. They're going to see their name, their address. They're going to open it up. They're going to see their home. They're going to flip through it. They're going to see their home. Very likely they invite you in. If you're going to have something to do and it's just like a quick rush, that's totally fine. Also, don't forget your listing agreements. Take your listing agreements and whatever else that you need to get that listing signed, because I'm telling you, we've had people get listing agreements signed from door knocking. Not always, but it happens. Yeah, don't be surprised when they invite you in and you're sitting there for an hour doing a tour, finding out what happened to the first agent that didn't get the home sold, and then you don't even walk them through this. They walk themselves through it. That's a beautiful thing. I would point out the domain. I would point out all of the marketing tools that you use. I would point out the QR code, now to have them pull up their phone and scan the QR code. All right. Because again, when they see that on their phone, they just flip. Even a tech savvy 20 something, 30 something year old is going to be impressed, because all these other agents that they're talking to are not doing that. Now, I'm going to end it in about 2 minutes. There's only one difference between door knocking and mailing. All right. One difference, and that is the envelope. Why is that the case? It is because when you door knock, you may be, oh, not the right link. You may be leaving it behind. Oh, yeah, here we go. Because you may be leaving the expired presentation booklet at the door if they do not answer. Now, sometimes people take it with them and they'll try it again later. Use an all-weather envelope to protect it. All right. It may be there for a few days before they even see it. There's different colors. I don't think it matters so much what color. Personally, I like colors, right? I like color. The white one's totally fine. What I like about these in particular is you can see, right? I can see what's in that. And so what I'm going to do is if I'm leaving this behind at the door, I'm going to make sure this is what they see when I prop it up against the house, where in an area where it's going to be somewhat protected from the weather. All right. It'll have the cover letter, the trash sheet, the seller process outline, and the presentation. After I leave, I'm going to send a text and a quick phone call, let them know, hey, Marco, this is Scott. Want to let you know that I just dropped off my expired home marketing plan presentation package for you. And when you get a chance, I would just love any feedback that you may have regarding it. That's all. Super quick. I just want to make sure that they know that there's something at the door. Otherwise, they may not go outside that door for a couple of weeks. All right. I know sometimes I don't go outside our front door for 3 or 4 days until I am going to get the mail or just doing something in the front yard. When I go to direct mail, all right, so direct mail, A-leads, Lux paper 9x12 envelope. Again, all sorts of color. I like the black one. I think it looks super sophisticated. All right. 2 more things about this, and this is true with both envelopes. It can be a little bit harder, and I don't have, it's not this marker exactly, but you want a nice pen, right, where it looks really nice on the envelope. So check this out. So here's like an all-weather one. So all-weather envelope, perfect for door knocking. Now it's not see-through like the other one is, which I like better, but notice that's just not regular ink, right? That's actually like a Sharpie. So it's permanent. Just don't wipe it in the first 2 seconds. Give it like 10 seconds, and that will be permanent. All right. I'm going to do that both for the door knocking and the mailing version. And on anything I mail, I want this on the cover. Your digital 100 plus point marketing plan to get your expired home sold is inside. Now, you don't need it on the one that's being door knocked because they're going to open it. All right. They're going to open that one. But when I mail that or the cover or the expired letter, I'm not going to be going through the expired letter today because that's more of the follow-up, but I'll just show it to you right here. Mailing expired letter. If I don't get a hold of that A lead or any lead, right, after a few days, they go on my every 21 day letter. It's a little bit different from the cover letter, same QR code. So you'll see here, there's a Canva link. It's got their home is at the top. I'll cover that in a future call. But that's their home from Zillow or Google Earth or ChatGPT. And then it's the same QR code here that was in the letter, right? That was in the Canva letter, the cover letter. It's just the same QR code, right? So that it goes to their flipbook. For the A leads, now the B's and the C's don't get their own QR code flipbook. They get the general one, which we'll talk about on Wednesday. But for all the A's, they're each going to get a unique cube because of their luxury. Right? They're the top 5 to 10%. All right. You see someone that you really want to meet. Do you do the same thing that you do with everybody else, or do you do something a little bit different? All right. It's the same idea. It's the exact same idea. Those luxury high-end listings, you all are capable. When I first started in real estate, I was with the top producing colo banker office in the world, or number 2. I think Beverly Hills was number 1. Our office in San Francisco was number 2. I ended up going from there to Sotheby's. And after Sotheby's, I became the director of online marketing for a group of offices. And then I started the company. All of you can do luxury. Luxury is just a state of mind. And who are you talking to? It's not about you. So we can all do luxury, right? And if you want to, if you're not comfortable going into a $4 million home, I don't know where you all live, just do, if the highest listing you ever had was 600,000, then your A's, your luxury are going to be 7 to 8. Even if you got 2 million, but you're not comfortable going to 2 million, just bump it up a little bit. Let's get our checks a little bit bigger. All right. They cash the same way. They sell the same way. All right. Any questions before I let you go? I've got one more thing, if you don't mind, and please give me 1 second. I should have given you this earlier. And I know you're not going to want to do it necessarily, but I hope you appreciate the time I've spent here and all of this. I'm going to give you a post-webinar survey form. It's super, super short, but especially if it's bad or constructive, I don't need to hear how great I am. If you want to say that, wonderful. I don't mind hearing it, but I'm as interested in what you need to make you better. Okay. I'm not here for myself. I'm here for you. So I would absolutely love it if you would click on that link. It should take you 2 minutes. Boom, bada bing, you'll be done. And give me a little bit of feedback on how to make this. But no, we don't cover everything in the school classroom or everything to do with expires every call. It's just too much. But today we covered our A high-end luxury leads. And then Wednesday, we'll go through the B group, which is actually easier. Because the Bs, we don't create presentations for each one of them, right? There's one presentation. They're all going to get the same thing. So it's the same QR code in the letter. It's the same link in every text message. It's the same link in every email. All right. It's the same presentation to every one of them. It's the A's that are just a little bit more difficult. So if you can get the A's, the B's are going to be a breeze. All right. Are we good? Can I let you all go? Did you get your money's worth?